Hello everyone, I have bought a new winter beater. For those of you who don't know, I store the Mustang in the winter. So I was shopping around and I said, what do I really want? I want something I can comfortably fit the snowboard and the dog in. I was sitting there and I was thinking, you know, I could get something that's nice or something that's fast, but then I thought about it and I was like, well, that's the reason I don't drive the Mustang in the winter, why I need a winter beater in the first place. So the more I thought about it, the more I realized I don't need something nice, I don't need something pretty. I need something that is the epitome of ugly, so that when it goes bouncing off a snowbank and rolls 3 times, I can just put it back on its wheels and drive it off and then literally not give a shit about it. So that is what I got, and I'm not gonna say it's pretty. This is by far the slowest and ugliest car I've ever even considered purchasing, so I think I nailed my criteria right on the head. Keep in mind that I'm not gonna keep it exactly how it sits. Even I can only deal with so much ugliness on a vehicle. So yeah, let's have a look. Quarter panels, both sides, the rocker panels, all of it's rust free. The underside's extremely clean as well for the age. A little bit of superficial surface rust, but other than that, I mean, this thing's in great shape. I should say it's in great shape mechanically. I mean, physically this is a little beat up. Can't even tell if that's paint chips or if that's just dirty as all hell. Same over here. I mean, got a bunch of dents, dings, little crap in the paint. They clearly didn't care for this paint too much. You know, this is dented in over here, but as far as a winter wagon goes, perfect. Yeah, so these are probably beyond repair. I'm assuming whoever had this car just had no concept of how large objects are, because it's all 4 corners. They clearly ran into shit. This is crushed in. Here's the only spot of real rust on the car. This is the beautiful part about this car. This whole fender, a brand new one that's primered but not color matched, is $40. I can buy this whole fender for $40. $40 is the price shipped to my door. This hood is clearly dented and dinged all along, but again, I mean, I'm gonna be blasting through snowbanks, and I mean blasting through snowbanks with this thing. So here we go, the one key that came with the car. My criteria was something I can fit a dog and a snowboard in, that is not pretty, so I don't have to care about it if it gets beat up. And I think it's safe to say I nailed that right on the head. I don't think anyone in the history of man has ever looked at a Subaru Forester and said, oh yeah, that's a sexy car. Oh God, I don't know what I'm getting myself into. Let's take a look around. So it's a little tough to see, but the seats are reasonably clean, you know, a little dirt on them here and there. This is disgusting. Look at all that shit that's on there. I don't know, it's like a residue of something. Most of the actual car itself is pretty clean. A little dirt, but as far as the carpets, the mats, the seats themselves, everything is actually in really good condition. The steering wheel's in good shape. The dash isn't cracked. It's actually reasonably well maintained from how it looks. Again, you can see here, I mean, it's a little dirty. You got a couple marks here and there, but on the whole, like even this cloth, shows all the dirt. For a 14-year-old car, that's really not that bad. That's entirely livable. Back seats, same thing. The floors are super clean, both the carpets themselves and below them. I mean, this thing is spotless. Here's the probably only exception to that, is in the trunk, the cargo area. I mean, it clearly stored something in here that got around, but underneath, that's pretty clean. That's probably never been used. All these compartments fold up properly. Everything is really good condition. This pulls back and locks correctly. I can't do it with one hand because I'm incompetent, but you get the point. I've had a dog bar or something there, and that could explain even this color here and the rubbing on the back of the seats. The glove box is, I'll show it to you. These are all the stickers that were on the car when I got it, but this doesn't really show well on camera, but I mean, this is huge. This is 8-9 inches of space. I've never seen a glove box that's actually got that much space in it. I shouldn't be that impressed by it, but it's really just that spacious. Look at this thing. It takes up almost half your leg room if it's open. It's just that big. Does have heated seats. They work mediocre at best. I of course had to go with a 5-speed because frankly this vehicle has less horsepower than my motorcycle. It is by far the absolute slowest thing I've probably ever driven. Something like 9.5 seconds for a 0 to 60 time. So I just said I gotta have at least something that makes me not want to kill myself when I drive it. So I got the correct number of pedals. I've got a gear shifter. That's what I need. As far as how it runs perfectly smooth, no engine lights, all of the major Subaru issues such as valve cover gaskets, head gasket, all in great condition. Nothing's leaking, nothing's burning oil. It's actually mechanically almost a perfect car. It does need new brake rotors on the rear, as I showed before. This was definitely broken and they just put this little stupid stick-on mirror over it. So I got one of those on order as well. All the lights work, the AC blows cold, the heats work. Like I said, the heated seats are weak at best, but again, that's not a huge deal. All the power windows work, the power locks work from the inside, the power mirrors, I don't think those work. Holy shit. Passenger side definitely works. Driver's side clearly has that thing stuck over the top of it. So not only is it not adjustable with the power mirrors, it's also, you can't turn it by hand. I've tried. It's a bit of a joke if I'm honest, but I already got a new one on order. As for the key, this car with this trim came from the factory with a key fob. So from the factory had a keyless entry. This is all I got, was not even the casing so you can get a full grip on it. By far the dingiest looking key set I've ever received. I did already order one online. It was like $20 because this car it's an 03, so it's far from new. It's far from technologically advanced. Ready for the magic? No engine lights on in this car. Idles extremely smooth. The transmission, I've taken it out already on the highway. Transmission shifts very smooth into every gear. A lot of the early 2000s Subaru transmissions have a lot of difficulty going into first or reverse when they're cold. This one has had no issues. The only issue I've found, and this isn't even that big of a deal, is when you're coming to a stop and you go back to first gear, if you try to push it in too hard while you're still moving too fast, it grinds a bit. And I'm not talking like dumping it in at 30 or 40 miles an hour. I'm talking, you know, even 10 miles an hour, 15 miles an hour, where it should reasonably at least start going in. That's the only time that it really has issues. Again, it's only when you're moving. When you're stopped, it's not a huge deal. All right, listen to this bad boy roar. I'm gonna be honest, it's cold. I don't want to rev it. But yeah, it runs perfect. There's no knocks, there's no clicks, there's no odd noises or grinds. It's got a smooth, low idle right where you want it to be. Again, I mean, there's a few things that got to be cleaned up, but mechanically this thing is immaculate. It runs perfectly smooth. I'm still gonna do some basic tune-up things such as a fuel filter and an oil change the second I get a chance. But in the meantime, I mean, this thing is just, it's phenomenal mechanically. Doesn't have any overheating issues either. I drove it for about an hour the other day and frankly, it had no problems with going over temp. It held perfectly where it should. The cooling system is definitely functioning properly as well. This car is all-wheel drive. These things are a frickin' tank in the snow. I mean, as far as a winter beater goes, they're really hard to beat. Beyond that, I'm going to turn this thing into a winter battle wagon, and it's going to be a bit of a fun project, so stay tuned for that. I will be doing that build. As for other questions people have on the car, how many previous owners? I don't know. Has it had any accidents? Don't know. How'd the Carfax look? Don't know. This is the only car I've ever bought that I had no desire or will to check the Carfax, the previous owner history, or the accident history, because looking around it, I was very thorough when I looked at it. There's no clear signs that it was in an accident or any of the body panels were actually replaced. That being said, they clearly dinged into a bunch of small stuff, but there was no substantial accidents that I could find based on how it looked. As for previous owners, it's in reasonably good interior shape. It's in great mechanical condition. Do I really care if it's been in one person's hands versus 5 people's hands? I'd like to say yes, but because it's in such good mechanical condition now, that really wasn't my biggest concern. This passed all my checks of normal maintenance items and typical Subaru problems and known issues that would be expensive to fix down the road. It was fine for all of those. For that reason alone, I really don't care. Honestly, if it's been in an accident or if it had too many previous owners, it doesn't show. It doesn't show for the things I care about. So for the first time and only time I'll ever probably say this, not only did I not check, but I genuinely didn't care. And that was an awesome feeling going into this. It's, I think, probably the only perk of buying a car that is this cheap and ugly. So there you go. This is the new winter beater. As far as hitting all my criteria, I think I freaking nailed it. It's obviously got enough space. It's obviously in great mechanical condition, but a little rough around the edges otherwise, which is exactly what I wanted. With a car like the Mustang, I always got to worry about, oh, is someone going to ding the door? I got to park it far away. Oh, a bird shit on the paint. I got to clean it immediately. With this, it's perfect because it's so ugly and it's already so beat up that I can probably just park it diagonally across someone's front lawn and not care when they hit it with a baseball bat. I also got it significantly cheaper than what comparable ones were going for. A clean one of these with the similar maintenance history and similar miles goes for about $3,500 to $4,000. I got this one, we'll just say substantially below that because it's in rough condition with all the scuffs and dings. So what I'm doing with that extra money, I got a few things on order. Like I said, I got a key fob, the rear rotors, and the mirror I'm going to need for inspection. But other than that, I got a few fun parts on the way, so stay tuned. I'm slowly going to do a build on this. It's not going to be anything crazy. I know this is never going to be fast or really handle well. What I'm going to do is just make this a ridiculous but insanely fun car. I try to make it a little less horrendously ugly. There's no nice way to say it. This is not a pretty car to look at in any sense. Even without the dents, dings, and bruises all over it, it still is not a pretty car. It's a Forester. Let's be real here. So I'm going to do a couple basic things, mostly visual stuff. Straight up, I'm just going to make it outlandish. This is never going to be a cool car. It's never going to be one that people are going to put on a poster anywhere. So screw it. I'm going to have fun with it. I'm going to do some stuff I always wanted to do, but never had a car that was shitty enough that I could justify doing it. I'm at the point in my life where I can comfortably afford to do so without having to worry about the depreciation, and now I have a car that I can do it too. So basically, fuck it. I'm going for it. If you want to follow the build, I highly encourage you to subscribe. I'll try to upload the things as I do them. Parts should be coming in the next couple weeks. That's all I got for now. Thanks for watching. Just gotta lock this bad boy up because it's so high in demand. Oh yeah.